I notice you've been talking about fatigue and issues like that, Marco. So what's the concern for you as you head into another off-season of international tournaments?
Well, it's a good problem that we have because now we're part of the Asia Cup and we're going to be playing and be part of, a big tournament. So we've got to look at it, on the bright side, and we will have, a bit of a break, which could be enough for a player. So, that's the price you pay playing, being an international player.
Yeah. But tell us about your actual physical and mental condition, because this, for many of our top-line players, is another off-season 3 in a row now, the Confederations Cup, the World Cup, and now this Asian Cup, plus your club seasons. So give me an idea of how your body has responded this year, especially after the World Cup and the way Hiddink was so demanding.
Yeah, I think sooner or later, you're going to be paying the price, just going on 3 years, just not really having a good break. And I actually felt it a lot this year. I think it came on early this year, maybe in January, February, March. I had probably 2-3 months of the year where I was flat, more, I think, mental than anything. And I don't know the main reason behind it, but I think you have to take in consideration that, we haven't really had a good break in all these years, so it could come down to that.
And also, I guess one other thing which is new for us, Mark, is that Australians are playing in bigger clubs. There are bigger demands on them, such as you, to try and qualify for the Champions League and also go to these tournaments, and everyone expects you to always be at the top of your game. I think this is another new thing, though, but how do you find it? How do you deal with it?
Yeah, well, being a professional athlete, you've got high demands and maybe, being put under a lot of pressure to perform every week. And then going into the national team and the same there again, now we've got higher expectations and people are probably, looking for Australia to do well in every tournament that we play in. So, I mean, the best thing you can do is just to recover when you can, when you get a break, just make sure that, you really unplug and try and recharge your batteries and prepare yourself for the next event. That's probably the only thing we can do, just look after yourself, what you eat, your rest time, and that's the best thing we can do. If we really don't have the physical time to have a holiday and have a break, you've got to take advantage of all those little days off we might have in between games or in between, different competitions.
Just on a couple of final points back on your club, I also want to get you to set the record straight, if you wouldn't mind, Marco, on the comments that were raised here when I think you came into camp the last time, maybe for the China game, I'm not so sure which one, where they were talking about you and your desire to stay in Italy or not. Do you feel were you taken out of context? Were you misquoted? Or because I spoke to Vince about it and he said that you guys are sort of discussed it amongst each other. So what's the reality of your future in Italy with Palermo?
But it's hard to say. I've got 4 year contract. I signed a 4 year. So after this season, I have another 3 years left on my contract. I would really like to play in the Champions League, and hopefully we get a position here in Palermo. But I still want to, and I love playing in Italy. But like you said before, that we have discussed it with Vinny, and I think then towards our career, that I think we'll really think about going to England and maybe playing a couple of seasons there. Now we don't know when or how early or how late. So I think, I don't know, we're just going to take it by ear and see what happens.
But how does your club respond to you saying publicly that you would be interested in moving to England when you still have 3 years to run on your contract? Did anything of what you said previously in the press cause you any problems there?
Yeah, a little bit. It got blown out of proportion a bit, and everyone probably thought that I just wanted to get out of here and leave Italy, but which is not the case because I still want to play here, and hopefully move to a bigger club here, and that's what I'm going to try and do. But, you know, if things don't work out, you've got to look somewhere else. So they, you know, just here in Italy, everything gets blown out of proportion. Everyone exaggerates. So they gave me a bit of stick for about a week, but, you know, everything got blown away, so everything's okay now.
The other thing for me is that even this week there's been another, 9 referees named in the scandal. There's been, you know, more matches under investigation that have been announced by the investigators. So you were quoted as saying that these things are causing you a bit of a headache in that, you know, and even Vince said it to me yesterday, that it's all becoming a bit of a joke, and he doesn't like the fact that, you know, you're playing in this environment sometimes with the corruption or the crowd trouble. So is it real for you that, you know, you're actually, you know, fed up with the way the competition is perceived or the way people look at it? I mean, you had a direct experience, didn't you? So I guess you would know more than most what it's like to be stuck in something like that.
Yeah, well, these are the things that made me think twice about, you know, really playing in Italy. All these negative things that do happen in Italy, the corruption and the experience I had with the Catania game, the Sicilian derby. But I don't know, more things come out, and every day there's always something new, and, you know, referees getting suspended and stuff like that. So I don't know, sometimes you really say to yourself, you know, how real is the competition, you know, when there's so much corruption. But like I said before, even though all these stuff happen, or they are trying to stop it, and hopefully they do, and that I still like playing here in Italy, and if I can, I'll stay here as long as I can, as long as I can, and then see where, you know, my career takes me from there.
Okay, and just the last thing for me is, what do you think now about the run home? Because all season you'd been sitting in the top 4, now you're outside and you're having to chase, whereas, you know, that wasn't the case before. So something changes now. The pressure to get results was always there, but, you know, is what's in the back of your mind now as you look up and you see that there's a team like Milan ahead of you?
Yeah. It's makes things a lot more difficult. I mean, we had so much of a gap between the 5th place earlier on this year, and I think we're the only ones to blame, because, you know, we allowed them to catch up by not winning many games in the last couple of months. But I still believe and optimistic. The whole team is still optimistic. You know, we're still going to give it a go. We've got 6 games left, and I don't think we can, you know, stuff up any more of these games. I mean, we've got to hope that Milan slip a couple of games, and hopefully we can catch them back again, and we can cement the 4th place position in the Serie A.
Is there any way you can explain this poor run? I mean, did you overachieve earlier in the season, that now there were greater expectations, or what? Have you just seriously lost form?
I don't know. What I saw, I thought maybe the team was just more mentally tired, because even just like playing in a city like this, maybe you have that little bit more pressure than somewhere else, because they're so fanatic here, and it's always football, and everywhere you go, everywhere you walk, it's always people always on top of you. So maybe little things put all together was the cause of, you know, this bad performance in the last couple of months. But I don't know, we've had a couple of injuries as well, which hasn't helped us. So I can't really answer the question. These are my thoughts, and this is what I thought maybe was a problem.